Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. John Kelly Profile here, and welcome. Welcome to part 39 of our very, very sad series, Who Killed Libby German and Abby Williams? The Delphi Murders, and it's their 5-year coming up in a day or two, their 5-year anniversary. Okay. Today's show is going to be called Bridge Guys Type of Woman. We're going to try something different today. So please try to hang with me. It might be extremely fruitful. Something else I want to mention is that we've had a glitch in the comments. I've answered all your comments, but that doesn't mean when they were published they appeared correctly, because we just got a whole bunch of comments back in held for review. So that means they're not published. So I just want you to know it's not us. It is a big time glitch with YouTube. And, we'll try and get that taken care of today or tomorrow. Also, I want to bring out my book. Thank you all of you that have purchased it. A lot of you have purchased it. I can't thank you enough. A lot of good feedback on it. A lot of you really like it. It's called Discovering Lazarus. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly of John Kelly. How I kicked drugs, became a counselor and psychotherapist, moved on to become a profiler. It's very condensed, not a lot of pages, 178 pages, I believe. It pretty much takes you from soup to nuts on the good, the bad, the ugly of John Kelly in a very short read. Thank you so much for all your feedback on it, and thank you all for purchasing it. The other thing I have to put out there is our disclaimer. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. It's just the way it is. I mean, everybody's got that shot at a trial, okay? I want to give a major shout out to the captain. We're putting a link up in the description to his YouTube page, to the page of his YouTubes. I mean, he's really done some great work, and not because I'm in some of his videos, but he's done a lot of great work on this case, other cases. And I have to bring up on the West Memphis 3 as well. I mean, he's done a lot of great work on that. All right, today I'm very interested, and please hang with me, in focusing on his target. And his target was Libby, okay? I mean, why did he not go after the smaller girl, the smaller victim in Abby? Why did he decide to focus on the bigger girl? Because usually in all my years of doing this, we know that these predators go after the smaller, which they believe is the weaker victim. All right. And, with this guy here, it's one thing that he's taking on 2 girls at the same time, but it's another thing that he's going after the bigger, stronger type girl, which would be Libby. So what he does, supposedly, from our understanding, is he kills Abby, gets her out of the way, and then goes after his target, his main target, which is Libby. And that is very unusual. Usually they don't do that. I mean, again, they go focused on the smaller victim. So, why Libby? What was it about Libby that really attracted this man? Because he was really attracted to Libby, okay, for some reason. So, of course, in the beginning, we have the revenge theory that was running around about Libby, and this was revenge because of her father. We never really bought into that. So I have to believe that this guy was very focused on Libby because he felt an extreme sexual attraction and obsession with her. Now, where did that come from? seeing her here, seeing her there. We couldn't figure that out. Now we got this whole catfishing thing going on. Was this guy, catfishing her over the internet? Really became obsessed with her looks, and couldn't possibly control himself. I mean, once the urge rose that he had to have her, he was going to have her at any price, even if it meant killing another little girl. Abby had nothing to do with it, and moving forward and trying to do what he wanted to do with Libby. I think he found himself in the fight of his life. He was out of luck. So he ended up killing her too, and never really enjoyed or got to accomplish the fantasy that he had in his mind. That happens all the time. These guys try to have this perfect fantasy in their mind of a sexual interaction, and it just doesn't take place. And I have to believe it was sexual because of supposedly Libby's undergarments found by the bridge or in the creek. Law enforcement knows. I only know what we get from here and there. All right. So now looking at Libby as the target, does that tell us something? Can we use that in some way to try and figure out who this guy is, right? Every one of us has an attraction to a female for whatever reason. If we're heterosexual, we have an attraction towards a woman for specific reasons, usually emotional and physical reasons. So we have to ask ourselves, if this guy was so interested in Libby, would he take that with him? Has that been with him all his life? Has he always been attracted to this type of woman, to this type of girls? What I should say, she was just a young girl. But from when he was a young man, did he start off with an attraction to the physical attributes that Libby possessed? I mean, was it her physical attraction to him that couldn't keep him in control of his urges, that he had to act out, no matter if it was daylight, no matter if it was in the afternoon, no matter if she had a friend with her, and knowing that he was going to have to kill two girls, he still could not control this urge for this type of woman with these particular physical characteristics. Right. Now that's something I'm believing. So if we have an idea of what Bridge Guy looks like, okay, and we're trying to hunt him down, focused on his looks, and of course, his behavior, his past offenses, prior convictions, sum that all up together, along with other kind of sexual deviant behavior. You mix all this stuff together to try and put a profile together, right? Can we now use his attraction, his physical attraction to a girl like Libby? For instance, when he was younger, as I mentioned earlier, was he attracted to that type of girl? Did he end up making that type of girl with the same physical attributes that Libby has, same physical likeness? Did he make that his girlfriend? Did that girlfriend become his wife? Even if his wife certainly is older than Libby and looks older than Libby, still, would her physical characteristics be similar to a younger Libby? We have to take this into consideration, because obviously this guy lost control completely and didn't end up, I don't think, what he wanted to end up with. Maybe did, I don't know, but I don't think so. I think Libby fought him tooth and nail, and I think he almost died of a heart attack, if he didn't die from a heart attack, when the video popped up of him that she shot. Okay, way to go, Libby. God bless you. So I think we have to take this into consideration. If this guy has a significant other now, as a girlfriend or a wife, you know, could we see any resemblance to a younger Libby? Now, I'm not saying you have to understand that if you know somebody out there that looks like Libby, that all of a sudden their husband or their boyfriend is Bridge Guy. That's not the way this works. Number one, he's got to look like Bridge Guy first, okay? And you got to feel comfortable if you're going to call in a tip that he is Bridge Guy. Secondary, the secondary person would be Libby. If his girlfriend or wife looks like Libby, has physical characteristics of Libby, then that, can help with you sending in a tip. But the tip has to be primarily on him. Why you think he's Bridge Guy, not on her. Because a lot of women, like a lot of guys, especially in this case, can have similar resemblances up in that area. Now, I also want to bring up why I've decided to head in this direction. And I want to talk about Whitey Bulger. I don't know if any of you know Whitey Bulger. Whitey Bulger was a gangster. And he was on the run from the FBI for many, many years. I mean, I think he was like 14 years or better, he got away. And they couldn't get him. He's a very smart gangster. He was out of Boston. And he had millions of dollars stashed all around the United States. And I think when they finally caught up with him, he had something like $800,000 cash in his closet. He was living there with his girlfriend when the FBI raided and grabbed him and took him into custody and finally arrested him. But what was very interesting about this, for the 14 years, or 12 of the 14 years, they kept putting his picture all over the place. America's Most Wanted, over here, over there. He was always on TV. He was Most Wanted on the FBI's list of most wanted criminals in the United States. They couldn't get him. Okay? And this went for years, over a decade. They couldn't get him by using his picture. Then somebody at the FBI came up with a brilliant idea. Said, you know what? His girlfriend's on the run with him. She's younger, but she's on the run with him. Let's focus on her picture. Let's put her picture out there instead of Whitey's and see what happens. Within 2 years of putting her picture out there, they got a call and they got a really good tip, and they ended up finding out where she was and who she was. And by doing that, they found out who was living with her. And of course, it was Whitey Bulger that was living with her. But they caught him by taking the visual focus off him and putting it on his girlfriend. All right. Now, I'll tell you why all this comes into play and makes sense. Hang with me here. I think you'll find this very interesting. All these predators, that are killers and serial killers, have certain types that they're interested in. Okay? And this Bridge Guy, I believe, is no different. For instance, if you look at Ted Bundy, take Ted Bundy for instance. I mean, he was focused on college girls with darker hair, brown hair, mostly brown hair, some black hair. Think about that. All right? Ted Bundy was focused on college girls on the campus with brown hair. That was his type. That's what he went after. Okay? Then later on, off the college campus, but still focused on victims with brown hair. Up in Indiana and around the area, I-70 killer. Small, petite women with brown hair. Think about it. I-70 killer, I think we got 7 murders. Okay? I think it's 6 women and 1 young man that he thought was a woman. He came up from behind because the guy had long hair. But brown hair. He was after women with brown hair. That was the I-70 killer's type. That's his victim of choice, if you will. Then we take a look at David Berkowitz, son of Sam. His type was women with dark hair who were in cars with their boyfriends, making out on lovers' lanes, different streets, different alleys in New York City. Those were his types. Those are the types of women he wanted to kill. And last but not least, for today, I mean, there's a lot of these. I could go over 20 of these right now with you guys, no problem whatsoever. We have Charles Cullen. Now, Charles Cullen is the serial killer nurse, the angel of death, from New Jersey, that admitted to 40 murders. He was a nurse. He admitted to 40 murders. We think it's more like over 200. Okay, he went from hospital to hospital to hospital. Hospitals kept passing him along. His victim of choice, his type of victim that he enjoyed killing, was the elderly. If you were elderly and you were in the hospital and he was your nurse for whatever reason, pretty good chance you weren't leaving that hospital alive. You weren't walking out of there. Okay, so all of these guys have different types of victims that they're interested in. And that's why I'm focusing on Bridge Guy. And his type was a girl that looked like Libby. Okay, because I really believe now that she was focused on, and this was not just random. He knew that her and Abby were going to be there that day. And even if it was random, still, even if it was random, his focus was on Libby, not on Abby. Okay? That is very important for us to understand. And the trouble he went through to quench that, perverted sexual thirst he had to get at Libby. And ended up killing both of them that day. Okay? That's quite an urge that somebody, really couldn't control. There's no question about it. The other thing that I'm looking at here is tipping. Again, make sure that a person you're tipping into law enforcement you believe is Bridge Guy. Secondary is if he has a significant other, as it has a physical resemblance, any physical characteristics to Libby. Very important for you to understand that. It's just another way of us trying to put something fresh out there for you guys, something new out there for you guys that can hopefully, lead us to this guy. Now, I also can't thank you all enough for all these years we've been together now. We're coming up on 3 years. And the reason for that is because we have sent in a lot of tips. We know there are certain people being watched. We just know that. Okay. I think law enforcement has recently come out and said that too and expressed that. We can't thank you enough for the tips. It will not be us that catch the guy. We might put some information out there that you guys, especially up there in that area, can put together and phone in a tip to a person of interest that you think fits the bill for Bridge Guy. But you guys out there and the internet, all of you, all around the world, and we're so grateful and honored to have so many fans. Okay, all of you are going to be responsible for bringing this guy down. Believe me, you are going to bring this guy down. They got the tips. They're on people. It just, as Carter would say, just a little bit more. They just need a little bit more. And you have to be understanding with that. Because if they don't have enough evidence when they go to court, if they don't have enough information, they only get one shot at this. And the person can walk. Okay? Remember, double jeopardy. Okay? Can't be tried twice for the same crime, even murder. Okay? So keep that in mind, and let's be a little more patient. It's 5 years now. It's bothering all of us. It's taken so long, but let's try and hang in there. That's all I can ask you. Other than that, what can I say? But thank you all so much for everything. It's been our honor to be with you so long. We'll continue to report as long as we feel we have something that's reportable. If we don't have something that we think is new, something that's fresh that might move the case ahead, we're usually just not going to show up to hear ourselves talk. Okay? And you don't need that either, right? There's enough entertainment out there. Okay? So anyway, thank you so much for all you've done for us. Thank you so much for all you've done for Libby and Abby. Make sure you take care of yourself. We're almost on the other side, I really believe, of this virus, from my lips to God's ears, right? Take care of yourselves. Have a great day. God bless you.